What is up, everybody? Mr. Internacional. Hey, what is up, everybody? Today is day one of my dash cam series as we roll into the new year, pun intended. And this new series is really just some commentary and some having some fun, so you guys can see all the bad drivers out there, and you'll hear me comment on the mistakes they're making as drivers and what not to do as a driver yourself, and how you can actually also be more courteous as a driver in case you are making some of these mistakes as drivers. And one thing that is unfortunately common is people in more crowded and more dense areas, or as Roseville and Placer County were getting a lot more congested, and the cities, the towns are growing. The politeness and courtesy factor tends to be one of those first things that go down in flames. So today we're just gonna, and every day we're just gonna kind of be doing a little bit of a dash cam video with my observations and whatnot as I drive. So these will just be, several minute clips for your daily viewing. Hey, maybe I'll even have some commentary, but I thought it was time that we get some more content out there so you can kind of get to know me as an attorney and our law firm and how we operate, to see if you're a good fit for us and we're a good fit for you as attorneys. So just gonna run some errands right now, and we'll observe some things and discuss them. It's evening. This is my new camera. Just a note about dash cams. I think they are one of the greatest insurance policies you can ever buy. I highly recommend going on Amazon or wherever to get one. The ones at Best Buy are on the pricier side of things, and don't, in my opinion, do anything better than the ones in the $20 to $80 or $100 range do on Amazon. I don't know if there's a brand in particular I recommend. Do look at the reviews on Amazon. There is one company, this one that I just got is called Red Tiger. It's a brand that seems to be quite popular and get really good reviews. I like it. I like the fact that you can connect your phone to it, download the data. So, go get one of those if you don't have one. Even if you're feeling a bit cheap and you don't want to spend that money on it, just give up getting a couple of lattes for a couple of weeks at Starbucks, and that'll more than pay for it. Now, a note about what I'm doing right now. You'll notice I'm in an intersection turning left. Important to know that you have a duty to yield. Now, here's a great example. You see fire engine coming my way. It's very important to stop your vehicle when they're coming behind you or towards you. Put your hazards on or your blinker on. Now, there's some debate about whether to pull over or not. First instinct is to pull over to the side if you can safely. But if you're in a more crowded road, let's say there were cars to my right, then the most prudent thing you can do is just simply come to a stop. That way, it takes out a variable for whether it's a police officer or the fire department. It takes out one less moving variable from the road, so they can get to where they're going on time and as fast as they can, obviously. A friend of mine who's a firefighter told me he actually prefers it, not that people pull over. He told me that he prefers it if people would just come to a full stop. They don't have to pull over. But in a situation like this, where there are no cars around me to my right, and I could do it really easily and safely, I just pulled over. Otherwise, you can just come to a complete stop. So, one good thing for you to know. Now, back at the last intersection, you saw me make a left-hand turn. You'll notice I made the left-hand turn when the light was yellow. Very important for you guys to know that left-hand turn cases are probably one of the most common situations in which people get into car accidents, and similarly, they're the most contested, where it turns into the person making the left turn blames the person in oncoming traffic. They claim they're running the intersection with red light, and vice versa. The person heading straight, hitting the left-hand turner, blames the person making the left-hand turn, saying they made an unsafe left turn. These are very tricky cases. So if you've ever been involved with one, feel free to give us a call for a consult. But if you'll notice, what I did is when you're in the left-hand turn pocket, and now you've encroached into the intersection, regardless of the color of the light, you should always wait for the intersection to clear. And what does that mean? It means if you see a car speeding towards you, it doesn't matter what color the light is. If you think that car is not going to stop, you should absolutely just wait there until it's safe for you to turn left. Similarly, sometimes people are crossing the crosswalk on foot to your left when you're making the left-hand turn. Make sure to wait for them to clear as well. Sure, most of the time, many of the times, they'll be walking against the solid hand. They shouldn't be, but trust me, if you make that left-hand turn and you hit them, you're still going to be liable. So with these left-hand turn cases, they are tricky because failing any witnesses to attest to the color of the light or any video cam footage, dash cam, hint, hint, these cases can get very contested where neither driver can prove which one is wrong. See, here's a great example of this lady. It's obviously a solid hand. I have a green, and she's just casually walking, despite all the traffic and it being evening. Had I advanced and hit her, that would have still been, although I kind of disagree, but it still would have been my fault because I saw her and I have a duty to yield to pedestrians at an intersection, especially, irrespective of the color of light. Of course, there are some exceptions to that. So make sure when you are at a stoplight, don't just go because it happens to be green. Once the light turns green, make sure to look around both sides to make sure there aren't cars barreling through. We have plenty of cases like that where people get a green, they start advancing through the intersection, and somebody from the cross traffic just blows right into them, and then they each blame each other. Oh no, he had the red light. Oh no, she had the red light. And without witnesses, these cases become a he said, she said scenario where you run the risk of being the one having the fault pinned on you. So with that being said, very, very important that it's very important that you spend 1 or 2 seconds to make sure nothing is going to run through the intersection, vehicle or pedestrian wise, before you proceed forward through your green. Now, you've heard me talk about witnesses quite a bit. Here's a wonderful thing. We noticed this with our Southern California cases in LA. Thankfully, not as bad at our headquarters up in Placer County. And that is, with all these people here, you'd think there are tons of witnesses, and there would be. What's really interesting is that it seems the denser the area is, the fewer witnesses there are, in the sense that people actually stop to help you out and tell you they saw what happened and give you their phone number. When you have more of a Roseville area, Citrus Heights, Placer County kind of thing, even Sac, it's a different ballpark. It's a different ball game. People still have that kind of help thy neighbor mentality where they will stop and exchange information. I'm telling you this because don't assume that there are witnesses. Or, pardon me, let me be clear. Don't assume that there are witnesses that will stop and help you and give you the correct information. We've had plenty of people also think they had a witness or two, and after the accident, the dust of the accident ended and they went back home and they tried to call said witness, all of a sudden that witness didn't exist. They gave the wrong phone number, and now this turned back into a he said, she said, where each party blames each other, and it becomes very difficult, if not impossible sometimes, to prove who's at fault. So very important to just be as diligent and safe as you can when you're driving. So that's kind of all I wanted to jabber on about today in our very first episode. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave comments or call us. Even if you're not our current client, we're happy to give you a second opinion about something, give you our take on it, and that's kind of it. So have a good evening, and as I continue with my drive here in the evening, if I see anything else happen, I usually see some bad drivers every day. I'll set that one up in another video.